Imagine the most famous general in history, a man who conquered nearly all of Europe, escapes from exile to reclaim his empire. What follows is a single day of battle that will decide the fate of a continent for the next 100 years. Hey, I'm Michael from Hoodie History. Let's explore the final epic showdown of the Napoleonic Wars, the Battle of Waterloo. The year is 1815. Napoleon Bonaparte has just escaped from the island of Elba and made a triumphant return to France. The old powers of Europe, Britain, Prussia, Austria, and Russia, are terrified. They declare him an outlaw and assemble their armies for a final confrontation. Leading the Allied army in Belgium is the cool and calculating Duke of Wellington. Nearby is the fiery 72-year-old Prussian commander Gebhard von Blücher, who nurses a deep hatred for Napoleon. The plan is simple. Their two armies will link up and crush the French. But Napoleon is a military genius. His plan is to strike first, keeping the British and Prussian armies apart and defeating them one by one before they can unite. He wins an early battle against the Prussians, forcing them to retreat, and then on June 18, 1815, he turns his full attention to Wellington, who has positioned his army along a defensive ridge near the small village of Waterloo. The battle was supposed to start in the morning, but heavy overnight rain had turned the ground to thick mud, forcing Napoleon to delay his attack for hours to let it dry. That delay would prove fatal. Finally, the battle begins with a furious French assault on a fortified farmhouse called Hougoumont, a brutal, bloody fight that lasts all day. Then, in the afternoon, the French Marshal Ney mistakes some movement for a retreat and launches one of history's greatest cavalry charges, sending 12,000 horsemen thundering up the ridge. But Wellington's infantry form defensive squares, a wall of bayonets that the cavalry cannot break. As the day wears on, Wellington's army is stretched to its breaking point. He's desperate, and then on the horizon he sees them. Blücher's Prussians, having regrouped from their earlier defeat, are finally arriving to smash into Napoleon's flank. Realizing it's now or never, Napoleon plays his final card. He sends in his elite undefeated old guard to break the center of the British line. But as they reach the crest, Wellington gives the order, and 1,500 of his finest guards, who had been lying down to avoid cannon fire, stand up and unleash a devastating volley at point-blank range. The sight of their heroes running shatters the morale of the entire French army. The battle is over. The defeat at Waterloo was the definitive end for Napoleon. It was a brutal, chaotic day that closed one chapter of history and wrote the beginning of the next one.